guys, Miss Pulbright here today, and for this lesson we'll be talking about imagery. So imagery is very important for writing because it not only makes your writing stronger, it helps you create a bond and a connection with your readers. So I like to identify myself as a writer. I write poetry, short stories, I even like to write longer texts and plays. That's something I like to do in my spare time. And when I think to myself how I can make my writing better, is I like to incorporate things I know, things I experience, right? Because that's what makes our writing strong. We typically as writers write about what we know. And we almost always go back to our five senses when describing things. So, imagery. Imagery is the author's use of language that appeals to the five senses in order to help the reader paint a picture in their minds. So, it's very important to use as much as you can. Use all the tools in your toolbox when writing. So I think it's also very important to do that with the five senses. So when you're describing something, you want to describe them with sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touching. However many senses you can use, you want to utilize as many as you can. Because that's what gives your readers a more authentic experience and helps them kind of relate to what you're describing more. Especially if you're talking to someone or describing to someone if they have no idea what you're talking about. So you want to give them as much information as you can to help them understand and enjoy your reading. So let's take a look at sight. So sight having to do with seeing. Common words are like sparkling, dull, bright. Think of words you would use to describe the sky. Another one, the second sense is smell. And smell, I think, is the most interesting one to describe because it's, I think, out of all the five senses, smell is most potent and the most memorable. I think we've all experienced, or at least I've experienced bad smells like sour milk. If I've ever left, and I have left milk out on the kitchen counter before, not a good choice, but I did it by accident. And you leave it there for so long, you start to smell something. Or if you just have any kind of expired food in your fridge, that smell kind of like takes over all of your other foods, and that smell sticks with you. And you'll know it if you see it in like any other situation. Like if you smelled something that bad, like 10 years down the line, like you smell that same smell, you'll more than likely remember the moment, like the last moment you've experienced that smell. At least this is for me. I'm not sure what is your strongest sense, but smell is my strongest, for good and for bad. All right, some words to describe the sense of smell is fishy, old, flowery, nature, and I think spring nature. Like if you ever go outside when it's raining outside in the spring, you can almost smell the rain. Our third sense is the sense of touch. Smooth, slimy, rough, and I use Ozzy here for example. Ozzy, come here. Ozzy, come here, come on, up. Yay, good boy. All right, so if I would describe my dog Ozzy here, I would describe his like feeling as, okay, he's very kind of curly. My fingers can get tangled into his fur. Oh no, he doesn't want to stay up. He's very soft. After I brush him, his ears are long, and yeah, that's pretty much Ozzy right there. He's just a curly boy. Thank you, Ozzy. You can sit. Good boy. All right, moving on to the sense of taste. Usually to describe food, spicy, sweet, salty, sour. Those are all words that begin with S, but I'm sure there are other ones also. The sense of hearing, so like booming, loud, quiet, popping noise. Like when you think of the 4th of July, you think of probably like fireworks, so you would be able to describe fireworks. Let's see, and that is it. Those are our five senses. So you have sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. So I have one more challenge for you guys, and it's kind of a goofy one. So as we wrap this video up, I will reward 5 extra bonus points to whoever can find the mistake on this poster. It's kind of a silly one, and it's one I did not notice until I got too far, which is the hint right there. So don't publicly comment the mistake. I want you to add a private comment on the assignment tab and say, oh, Miss Polar and Miss Poulin, the mistake is blank. And if you can identify the mistake on this poster, I will give you 5 points. All right, good luck.